So here we are, ready for part 2 of this Pix unboxing. Those are some of the things that are in part 1 of this video, which is you could watch previous to this one. So this is part 2. I'm going to move some of the stuff out of the way. There's not a lot left in the box. Wah! No, I'm really happy with what treasures we have here. So just going to quickly get some of this stuff out of the way. It's amazing, like, how much, treasure is out there. There's a lot. There's, if I was brave enough, there's places I wish I could go, but I'm not that brave. Because I can't even imagine. This I ended on the other video with this crucifix. It's my favorite out of all the crucifixes that we actually have uncovered. There's this one. And what I like about it is, like, wow, how pretty is this? It's really, and it's like made of glass. It's like glass. And this is just a pot metal of some sort. It's not silver. I can feel it and know that, but it's also not marked. And I can tell it's just not real silver. But it is metal. But it's really pretty. That is really, really pretty. Where was I? Disorganized. Don't like it. I have to look these up. I don't know if they're anything special. I think these were sold maybe on QVC or something like that. One of those channels. I recognize the names from that, but, and they're not, these are 3 different designers, but one is Caravelli, the other one is Invicta, and this one is upside down, Judith Ripka. And I do recognize those as QVC brands, except for maybe the Caravelli or whatever that is. Not sure about that one. There's this unusual, it's a bear, which is pretty cool. It's like a teddy bear. Oh, I wonder if this is like something to do with Teddy Roosevelt. But it's a teddy bear dressed in a cape and a hat. Because I don't think he wore a cape, Teddy Roosevelt, but he definitely wore a hat that was similar. This is definitely an old piece. It is heavy. It is not. This must be like 4 inches, maybe, yeah, 4 inches long. And the weight of it, you would think that it was like 6 or 7 inches long. So it's solid. Brass, I assume. Yeah, I was right. It's close to 4 inches long. See, when you do this long enough, you pretty much get a feel for things. So that is a very cool piece. Can't wait to do a little more research on that. Yep, we find cartridge shells pretty often. And I picked, once again, I think we found Winchesters before, but another set of Winchesters. Winchester used to be a company. I believe they were out of Springfield, Massachusetts, and they're not in business anymore. So whenever I see Winchester items, I pick them up, even if they're just cartridges. This cool dangle bracelet. These are like different Millefiori and other Murano designed balls that are hanging off of it. And each one is like tethered to this ball cuff bracelet. Really pretty, really cool. I think it's complete. I don't think any of the balls are missing from actually this one. So there's one right there that's missing the ball. And that would be hard to replace. I don't know. I mean, what I would do with this is I would probably attach another charm that hangs maybe a little bit longer and give it a theme. So we'll see. I mean, there's ways to make items sellable. There's just like a lot of miscellaneous items in here. There's like some man stuff. This says that it's sterling. My hands are dry. Just wash them again for the 100th time. You can sort of see the mark. Oh, upside down. I could read it upside down too. Sterling. So another piece of sterling. We'll put that to the other sterling. And that's one of those tie clip things. This is really, really pretty. I don't know if it looks like it's real silver. It's acting like it's real silver, so we'd have to test this one. But it's a pair of lovebirds, sort of like birds of paradise. There's a key. There's a top to an ornament. There's another key. There's some religious medallions in here. There's several of them. I'm not taking out every single item just because there's like so many. Ooh, there's 75 cents in regular quarters. These are not old, but I always check to make sure they're not misprints or errors, because sometimes people, like for example, this is a good example of a quarter that might be a misprint or error. I'm looking for my tweezers. There they are. And what I do is I find another quarter that's the same mintage, aka year. And it has to be minted in the same location. God, come on, come in clear. Let's try this. That's clear. So I need to find another 1977 quarter, and what I'm looking at, if I don't scratch it up, is the edge. The edge looks very, very thick. That's not a normal characteristic of a coin, a quarter anyway. So if I look at another 1977, and I also have to make sure they were printed at the same location. So on the back, you'll find a letter which is D, S, P. There might be no marking. Those all indicate where the item was actually printed or created. And you compare apples to apples and see if there's any differences. Maybe that year all of the quarters are printed with a really thick border. If not, if this quarter is unique to that, then what you would do is sell it as an individual item and also note that that is the issue with that coin. I'm looking to see if we can compare. So that might not be an error because 1996 has a thick border as well. So these just might be regular quarters. But when, people hold on to coins or, paper money, sometimes there's more value in them than what you see initially. So you always, want to check. And there's just like a lot of miscellaneous parts in this box, so I'm not going to go through the entire thing. And I don't really see anything overly interesting. Actually, I think these are sterling silver, and these might match the tie clip thing. Actually, I don't see anything on these, so whatever, put those away. And let's look at this other box. which I haven't opened this yet, so you're going to see what I see. First of all, it's G Fox again. And this is what's inside. Looks like a lot of religious relics and things. So this may be made by that American Indian school. They did a lot of things like this, but usually they were marked. I don't see anything on it. So more crucifixes, more religious like pendants and such. I don't think any. This says Italy and has some weird mark on it right there. I don't know what that means. It kind of seems like it could be silver, so I would check it, but it may not be. This was presented by the Women's Auxiliary, this was issued during wartime. What does it say? Oh, once again, it's Hartford Hospital in 1954. So probably not, definitely not, not probably, definitely not issued during the war. I don't know what these are. So in the Catholic religion, I've seen these several times. If you know what this is, please leave it in, a note in the comments down below. But I've had these before, and usually religious items like this, I sell them in bulk, or in lots. In the more interesting older ones, yeah, I will sell those individually. Here's another religious keepsake relic. This is something that was given probably to a soldier to put on his clothing. Sacred Heart. What does this side say? All sorts of words about kingdoms and 100 days, earth time, etc., etc. There's a couple old keys in here, and once again, there's a lot of like religious medals and such. Yep, that's another one, but this one is like golden, but it's not gold. So we'll put that there, and actually we'll dump all that stuff back into this box. So it's all together. I'm putting all the religious items together. Pretty much. There's some really old ones in here, but there's some that are definitely newer. Put that there. Get that teddy bear over there. There you go. And this is a bag I was really excited about because right away I can see that there's silver coins in here. And I could tell when I quickly looked at the edges without taking these out of the bags. I don't know how many bags are in here. There seems to be a lot. And I think every coin seems to be in its own bag. So, and people would put coins in bags because it keeps them from tarnishing when you put them in a plastic bag. So that was very smart. So wow, this is I'm pretty sure, yeah, it was circulated. I could tell by looking at it, but still great condition for this 1964. And you could tell it's silver. Look at the edge. And there should be no copper, no brown. If it's copper or brown, it's not real. You need to test coins if you're buying them from especially an unknown dealer, and sometimes even known dealers, because sometimes they will cheat and they will, fake these coins. So especially if you're buying them from overseas, you always want to check them, because there was a huge issue with coins coming from Asia that were not authentic. Unfortunately, and it's not, of course, every Asian seller, but just like here in America, you have several in every crowd that are trying to get over on, innocent, honest buyers. And of course, then you have buyers who are not honest as well. But you just need to make sure you're educated, you know what you're looking for. Hopefully you have the ability to test these items. Remember, if you put acid on the coins, you reduce the value. So think about it before you do it. This one is 1967. And certain Kennedy half dollars have more silver in them than others. Like the ones in 1964, I know have the most. As I think 1963 is when they started making these. This one is 1968. And you could tell, you see how it's brown, whatever. This is a decently circulated coin, but it still has really excellent details. And I'm not going to go through... Oh, wow, this one's different. I was going to say, I thought these were all the same, but yay, they're not. After looking at 3 coins, they were the same. This one is... A lot of people don't know that there are Franklin half dollars. And these were made in the 1950s. These are silver always, unless someone's trying to fake you out. On the back, they have the Liberty Bell. And I think I'm going from memory that I believe all of these were made in Philadelphia. And some may have been made in Denver, but I'm not sure about that. This actually has the letter on it. It is, actually this one was made in Denver. And you can see the mintage as to where it was made, the mint location. It's always right here above the bell. You see that little dot right there? That's a D. So that could have been a P. I mean, coins were made in several locations. Carson City, if you find any that are from Carson City, those are so desired and you are so lucky. I've only had Carson City a few times. Also, they were made in San Francisco, Denver, and Philadelphia. So those were the main locations for coins being made here in the U.S. The Carson City ones were made earlier. That's why they're more valuable. And they did not make as many, obviously, or for as long out of Carson City, which is a weird place to make them. But wow, this one's really nice on the back, especially. So here's another 19, but look at the back. The back is like pristine. So this may have been one that was in a roll of coins, and the back was protected, and the front was at the end of the roll, or at the beginning of the roll. So there's, let's see how many of these Kennedys are there. I'm not going to show everyone individually. I'm just going to throw them over here. That's a Kennedy. Another Kennedy. And this one is a Kennedy. And, oh, this one is another Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. With all these bags. And see if we have anything else. Oh, here's something that's different. This is a walking Liberty. I believe, yeah, because she's walking. And you could tell one foot is in front of the other. That's why it's called a walking Liberty. The better coins, you can clearly read the date. It is common to find these and the date is completely rubbed off. It's actually sort of a flaw when they made this. They did not realize that these, like the date was going to rub off because the date is sitting on top of everything versus being pushed back like as a relief. So that's why it is sometimes hard to find these with a very clear date, and I am shocked by how clear this date is. It's so awesome. These are always silver. And on the other side, you have the eagle, who almost looks like he or she is walking. And once again, you can see the mint location right here. So this one I think says it's Denver, I believe. It's small. And I always use a loop when looking at that because, you know, sometimes you're missing just a tiny bit of the like line for the P at the bottom, but this is Denver. This is really, I like the wear on this coin. I like the fact that this was, you know, a circulated coin and how evenly, you know, it's aged, as well as, you know, you still have a lot of detail, but the more detail this coin, a coin like this has, the better and the more value. So if you could see more of the wrinkles in the gown, if you could actually see the details of the eyes, the nose, the mouth, then that actually has more value. And we have another Walking Liberty. Are these empty? Another Kennedy. I think he's, oh, there's a couple more. He slid off. And I think this is a lot. Yep, these are empty. So this is another. So here we have another Walking Liberty, and you can compare them. That's another thing, if you're not sure, like compare them to see which has the most detail, because that's your better coin. So out of these, this one is the better one. It has more detail in it. You look at the flowers, the leaves, the gown. Look at the sun's rays. Also, the number is a lot clearer, and the figure itself is just, you know, easier to see. And then you flip them over, look at the eagles as well, and you can tell that this coin was used more than this one was. So this is the better coin. And does that have the mint? See, this one does not have a mint mark. So you would just look that up, because if there's no location mark on it, you can actually look it up and it'll tell you where it most likely, my assumption is that was made in Philadelphia, because I find that coins that are missing mint marks are mostly made in Philadelphia. But that's what I have. That's you know, this is part 2 of that haul video. And this is what, you know, is a conclusion to the small treasures that we have. And of course we have the big treasures, the big items, you know, that we have for resale as well. And I usually don't show those because there's so many, and we end up with crates in bins like full of things. And I'm sure that some of them, because we have a box of smalls as well, we try to like separate the smalls. So I haven't really looked at all of those yet. So maybe I'll do a video on those. If you want me to do a video so that you can look at some of the smalls that we have acquired from this project, you know, put a comment down below. I can pull one box over for you right now. I will not go through it, but just to give you an example of what I will, you know, show you. This is one of the boxes of smalls that we have. So there's a lot of stuff in there. There's stuff inside of stuff, as well as that's just one of the boxes. So thank you for tuning in, and please comment, leave us a thumbs up, as well as subscribe. It's totally free. And also, if you click the little bell, you'll receive a notification whenever we have a new video. Like I said, it's a good idea to listen to these videos while you're working, so that you're learning some new things while you're actually working. And if you hear something interesting, look at the video, because when you go out into the world, I am giving you all the clues you need so that you can also find really cool items, and hopefully for little to no money, or you know how to put together a bundle, or you learn how to sell junk lots for profit. I mean, we do so well. I have, I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes right now that we're working on to create junk lots. And I'm sure out of those 8 boxes, we're probably going to end up with, I would say, like 12 to 14 junk lots. And we will sell them all, as well as, like I said, I have all sorts of new smalls I have to go through and divide some of those out as well. So if you want to learn how to do this, and like I said, make a profit, be in business for a really long time, enjoy what you're doing, please subscribe, please ask us questions. Have a great day and enjoy picking.